Just after 7 o'clock. What's going on, guys? Welcome inside the channel. I'm Bobby Trosset. As always, pregame coverage, Ravens coverage, and a whole lot more. Glad you can be with me. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you and yours. It is do or die for the Ravens tonight at Lambeau Field against the Packers. And it'll be two backup quarterbacks going after it. Malik Willis for the home team, Tyler Huntley for the visiting team. Let me say, first and foremost, sorry for going dark on you this week. The vault took off Thursday and Friday between travel schedules, Sarah's family being in town, and I, as you can probably hear, am in Squidward mode recovering from the flu. So it's been a brutal few days, probably shed a couple pounds, but ready to roll tonight. Sarah and I, of course, will have post-game coverage inside the vault coming up after the press conferences in Green Bay. But let's be honest, this means a whole lot more for one of the two teams tonight. Green Bay already clinched with Detroit's loss last week. So the Ravens not only need to win tonight to keep their season alive, but they have to do so with Tyler Huntley. Lamar has officially, he was listed as doubtful prior to the game, and he was officially ruled out with that back contusion that we saw him leave the game with a week ago against the New England Patriots. And because of that, not a lot of popularity, not a lot of confidence around the league. When you take a look at NFL Network's game picks, Bucky Brooks, the only one on the panel to pick the Ravens over the Packers. Green Bay currently favored and opened as 2.5, somewhere around that 3-point favorite. And that was before we learned of Lamar's absence. Lamar will miss his fourth career game, I should say fourth game of the season. And the Ravens obviously have not only struggled this year without Lamar, but lifetime as well. They're 5-11 when he does not start under center at quarterback. They're 76-30 when he does. And don't you worry, I'll give my take in just a bit on some of the coverage surrounding number 8 that's taken place through local media outlets, regional, and all the way up to national this week. I've got some thoughts on that. But the bottom line is this is a player that wins over 70% of the games in which he starts. But too often, I think we can all agree, too often in recent years, whether it was the end of 21, the end of 22, or now here in 2025, he has not been available. We all know when he is available, just how electrifying, just how impactful he really is. And it was, man, quite a toll. Quite a toll was taken on his body this season. I'm not writing an obituary on the 25-26 Lamar Jackson. If they win today, and for some reason, Cleveland finds a way to beat Pittsburgh tomorrow, then that Week 18 regular season finale in Pittsburgh, that games mean everything. And it's ultimately the division and a spot to ultimately punch your ticket to the postseason. So that's what's going on. No Jordan Love. He was not ruled good to play through concussion protocol. And again, Lamar with that back contusion will not play. Todd Monken spoke about Lamar earlier this week.
On him. I mean, I'm just telling you, for a guy that loves to play football and loves to be out there with his teammates, it's been hard. It's been a struggle because, like any player, to be able to shine, you want to feel your best, especially with lower body injuries. When Lamar has the ball in his hands, he's electric, and so I know it's been really difficult for him. It's been difficult trying to get himself back and not feeling like he's playing at the level he's capable of playing at. But I've been pleased with how he's gone about it and gone about his business, and I know he's going to fight to get back out there this week.
Todd Monken speaking earlier this week, Ravens offensive coordinator. Of course, he's had plenty going on in the coverage side of things this season. It's been a frustrating season, to say the very least, top down in Baltimore, and that's why they find themselves one game below 500 at 7-8, entering Week 17 tonight. This is must-win mode for Tyler Huntley and company. Obviously, you can put the Ravens in a position 8 days from now, whatever that game ends up being played, Saturday or Sunday of next weekend. Ultimately, that will be for the division and for a chance to play in this year's postseason. So Lamar leads the list in terms of tonight's inactives. Tylan Wallace is down. That means Devontae Walker is up. Keon Martin is down. Joseph Noteboom is down. That means Carson Vincent is up and will be the primary backup left tackle to Ronnie Stanley. And Aeneas Peebles, as the Ravens continue to go with 4 interior defensive linemen, is on the outside looking in. Not sure if it's a lack of trust there against the run or a lack of development or a little bit of both, but no rookie FUB, Aeneas Peebles, tonight. Last time we heard from Lamar, man, it looked like a player that had no chance to play 5 or 6 days from that moment last Sunday, and certainly that ended up being the case. Remember Lamar from Sunday night?
The knee in the back that closed a little.
Yeah, my knee was good. My legs felt great tonight. I just got kneed in the back in the red zone. Just couldn't finish the game. I was trying, got tore it all shot and stuff like that, but still ain't get no better. Yeah.
Lamar, has this just been kind of a terrible season in that sense, in the sense that it just feels like this stuff keeps happening to you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man, it's BS, bro. I can't control that, dude. Like, I'm on the ground, like I'm down. I gave myself up. I got kneed in the back. But yeah, for the most part, you can say that because getting injured and then we fighting for a chance to make the playoffs. I can't finish the game with my guys, so it's BS.
Lamar, was there any point at halftime or on the sideline where you tried to throw a ball and it was just too big?
Yeah, I was in here trying to throw it with one of our trainers, calf. I could, like, it just hurt.
Did it aggravate anything that's pre-existing for you? I mean,
No. They didn't do anything tonight.
Do you think they'll be able to play at all this Saturday?
Yeah, that's the goal. Like, we're going to do CAT scan or whatever tomorrow and then see what it shows.
It was the goal, but ultimately that goal was not achieved, and I'm not surprised whatsoever. I mean, that sounded like a player that had no chance of playing on a short week in Green Bay. And so now the Ravens find themselves in a pretty precarious situation. At the same time, you find a way to get it done tonight, and they've won with Tyler Huntley in the past and can win with Tyler Huntley again. I don't know if that ends up being tonight. When Sarah and I did our predictions far, far before we figured out that Jordan Love wouldn't play and multiple other injuries for both teams, I had the Ravens losing tonight 27-21. To be quite honest with you, and this is no disrespect to Malik Willis at all, who's QB2 behind Jordan Love, who will be QB1 tonight. He's got a lot to play for. He's going into a contract year. He thinks that he can be a starter in this league. And I guarantee you, in Tyler Huntley's heart of heart, he feels like what he can put out on tape tonight and what he's put out on tape in the past for the Ravens is good enough to win him potentially a starting job for a team that is needy, perhaps in need of a bridge quarterback or someone that has a aging quarterback that could be forecasted, to find the injury bug at times throughout the grueling 17-game, 18-week season that comes with life in the NFL. So, I think this is going to be a good game tonight. And as you see in my poll right now, you already know where I'm voting. You already know what I think the formula for success will be. Feed King Henry early and often. Feed him the rock, let him do what he does, and let Green Bay figure out a way to handle it. 44% of you agree with me. What will Tyler Huntley keep the Ravens season alive is the question. And a bunch of you have weighed in with other votes as well. 36% of you say you don't trust the coaching. 10% say trust in Snoop to manage the game and do what he does. 10% also say defense wins this game. And again, 44% lead the way with me. Run King Henry 20-plus times early and often. As you see up on the screen, the Steelers will be without, no surprise here, Pittsburgh will be without DK Metcalf. And if you've watched the Steelers throughout this season, at times they've looked one-dimensional as an offense. Now, in recent weeks, they've done a little bit of everything, but you take DK Metcalf and his presence off the field, and this suspension that he appealed was upheld. So he will not be there at Aaron Rodgers' disposal over the next couple weeks. That's meaningful because Cleveland may not have a whole lot to play for tomorrow at home, but Myles Garrett does. He's 1 sack away from the single-season all-time best mark. And obviously, Shedeur Sanders feels like he's got more left to prove in this league as well as he competes for future starting jockeying position, whether it be in Cleveland or elsewhere at the quarterback position. So no DK Metcalf. And again, should the Ravens find a way to win tonight, I think you guys know the formula, the scenario that has to unfold for next week in Pittsburgh to be meaningful. And I'm talking about meaningful in terms of postseason contention. If the Ravens win tonight and Cleveland defends their home turf tomorrow against Pittsburgh, Week 18, Ravens-Steelers means everything. They'll ultimately punt. The winner will punch its ticket to the postseason and ultimately wrap up the AFC North. So that is that. As far as the rest of Pittsburgh's concerned, by the way, no TJ Watt, who continues to deal with the fallout from that lung issue with the team medical staff. So no TJ Watt, no James Pierre, Lamar's cousin, who picked him off a few weeks ago. No Calvin Austin III, role player, wide receiver, and a couple other players popped up on this list, whether it be with illnesses or other bruises and nicks. So point is, who's healthy? Who's really healthy this time of year? The Ravens certainly are not. Cleveland, on the other side, certainly isn't as well. One of Shedeur Sanders' targets, David Njoku, has been ruled out tomorrow with a knee injury. Looks like Harold Fannin, talented young tight end, will play. So, again, this is all to say that this time of year, I think we know how it goes. And when the going gets tough, who's going to respond? Will the Ravens ultimately find a way to gut out what will absolutely have been a full team, 3 complementary phases type of football game tonight? We'll see. They're going to be going up against Malik Willis, of course. Maybe some of you are familiar with his career in college. He started at Auburn, then transferred to Liberty. Tennessee used a 3rd-round pick on him back in 2022. He spent his first couple of years there as a Titan, and he's been with the Packers, backing up Jordan Love the last couple of years. Mina Kimes, just so you have some perspective on who the Ravens are going up against. Yes, he's young. Yes, he's inexperienced, but he's shown some flashes in recent memory.
I agree with Tim. I mean, we saw some, I would say shaky backup quarterback play yesterday. That's not Malik Willis. In fact, he's developed so much in Green Bay. It's been really impressive to see. And this is a big game for him with free agency coming up. He has the potential to get some attention from teams around the league. I think for Baltimore, it starts on the ground because he does add so much to this run game. They'll run zone read with him. They'll run power. He'll scramble out of empty. They'll put him under center. They did against New England a fair amount and run off of that. And then if you overcommit, he has the ability as a passer to punish you in the play action game. If you give him one-on-ones by selling out and stacking the box, he threw that beautiful go ball last week. You remember down the left sideline. So this is not a backup quarterback you want to overlook because, I just think he's been increasingly impressive every time I've seen him in Green Bay. And I also think Matt LaFleur does a hell of a job calling the offense for him.
All right, so Malik Willis has a lot to play for in terms of his future in the NFL. The Packers don't necessarily, sure, for seeding purposes in the NFC playoff picture, they have plenty to play for. But with Detroit's loss last week, Green Bay clinched. Lions were eliminated from postseason contention. Green Bay clinched. So they're already coming into this game. First of all, they have not been back to Lambeau Field since Micah Parsons tore his ACL. And that was a welcome sight, not in the form of injury for a player. I don't think any of us would ever root for something like that. But from a Ravens perspective, it's been a struggle in pass protection, no matter who is under center this season. And the fact that Micah Parsons, who overwhelmingly transformed this defense and started to mask some of their deficiencies in Green Bay since he was brought in with that acquisition, that ridiculous blockbuster acquisition that Dallas may very well never be able to live down, at least if you're Jerry Jones. So that's a welcome sight that they won't have to deal with him tonight. They do still have playmakers, whether it be on the perimeter or in the interior. And you got to look out for Quay Walker. He's their talented linebacker. He leads the team in tackles all over the place, can do a little bit of everything. If you're Tyler Snoop Huntley tonight, you want to take your layups, you want to take your check down opportunities, and more importantly than anything else, you want to move the football effectively and efficiently with a high-functioning operation, right? A clean, polished, high-functioning operation, whether that be handing the football off to Derrick Henry, whether that be end-around type of trickery with Zay Flowers or Keaton Mitchell in the backfield, whatever that might be, getting the tight ends involved across the middle. Tyler has to be surgical tonight, not necessarily as a passer, not necessarily in the pocket. I'm talking about overall operating this offense, taking care of the football. Do not gift Green Bay more possessions than they deserve or have earned, because that's what a young quarterback in Malik Willis really needs. And in a lot of ways, on the flip side, they're probably saying the same thing about the Ravens in Green Bay. It's the first time, it would have been the first time that Lamar Jackson faced the Packers. But crazy enough, it's not the first time that Tyler Huntley has, because back in 2021, when these two teams squared off and Lamar was injured, Tyler actually played pretty darn well. And that game was against Aaron Rodgers. Ravens lost by 1 point. Point is, Snoop is more than serviceable. He is not Lamar, nor will I ever say anyone is close to Lamar in terms of, what he brings to the Ravens. We all know what the Ravens are and aren't with and without Lamar. They're 5-11 without him throughout this era. When he doesn't start, they win over 70% of their games with him when he does start. And that brings me to something that you guys continue to hit up me and Sarah about. The timing of it was brutal. Not only was it the holiday, not only was I traveling, and not only did I end up coming down with the flu, but all this shook out and was published by the Baltimore Sun basically at the start of our hiatus here leading into Saturday night. So Mike Preston, as you guys probably have seen by now, he had some controversial, critical things to report on when it comes to Lamar. And part of it is here in the graphic that the Sun themselves put up. He said, quote, "The Ravens should look at possible trades, which could net them 2 or 3 first-round picks. Jackson would love to play in Miami, where quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is no longer the starter, or possibly Las Vegas, where Brady, a partial owner of the Raiders, has shown a fondness for him. Baltimore should also draft a young quarterback in the early rounds." That's one of the many critical pieces and the messaging and the dialogue that was in Mike Preston's latest. Mike has been in the Baltimore area for a long time. In a lot of ways, he's an institution for a certain generation. I think he took this a bit too far. And I'm going to go defer to what I wrote in my Discord server when asked about it yesterday. I had a chance to spend a couple minutes just sharing some of my thoughts, and I'll go ahead and read this for you. And if you want to go join the Discord, pop on in. There's over 1,000 members and growing every single day. And so I said, look, Sarah and I will address this at some point over the next couple of days. But my take is this. Do I think there's layers of truth to Mike's reporting in terms of Lamar not being the first one in, last one out, right? Most polished professional, most tidy, all that. Yeah, I think there's layers of truth to that. And I don't think that's groundbreaking to say. Do I think it was only published because of how irrelevant this season has become, though? Yes, I do. I said, do I also think it's somewhat reactive and a bit outdated, meaning these things have been transpiring over the course of Lamar's career, not necessarily of late? Yes. And so the bottom line for me is something like this never comes to light, one, if the Ravens had been winning, and then that brings you to the core of this entire issue. We're talking about a player that wins over 70% of the games in which he starts. And if you take out the first half of 2018 when Joe Flacco was up, he's posted 3 MVP seasons, counting last year, in 7.5 years. So while everyone's still waiting on, and we are, and we'll continue to, the postseason accolades, the success in the postseason, that signature game, not a signature half, not a signature quarter, not a signature moment, but a signature game, right? All of that is still out there, and we're waiting for that. With all that said, though, how can you overly criticize him for how he handles his business? He wins. Yes, he has not won consistently enough when it matters, but to me, this never, ever comes to light or is even relevant if this season, one, if Lamar's not dealing with injuries, and two, if they're not winning. So keep that in mind when you read stuff like this, when you start to get involved in some of the gymnastics in the Twitter space and throughout all of national, regional, local media. It's become a total firestorm, and a lot of it really is not all that new. So that's where I'm at. I am certainly not even remotely here to question Lamar's character or commitment or toughness when it comes to making himself available. Look, I mean, you saw him during that post-game press conference on Sunday night. That was not a player who was going to suit up 5 or 6 days removed from that. Not a chance. Not a chance. And as some have, to just blatantly compare his injury to Justin Herbert's, for example, it's just, why? Well, like, on what bounds, on what grounds? Every injury is unlike the other. So I'm not going to play that game either. Bottom line is, it does appear that there's a disconnect between the player and the organization when it comes to certain levels of communication and dialogue. We saw that unfold in 2022 during the negotiation process for his extension. And who knows, over the next couple months, we could see the new chapter of that starting to unfold. So I'd hope that there's an area where they can find middle ground, because this offseason, it's hard not to think that the Ravens aren't at a key moment in time when it comes to their organization this upcoming offseason. Because you're not going to win a lot of games when your quarterback is on a $75 million cap hit. And that's where they would be potentially flirting with coming up in 2026 should an extension not get done. So you guys have been asking for it. Those are some of my early thoughts on this. I'm sure Sarah and I will get into it more in the days ahead as we get ready for the week. But let's go out to Green Bay and see what's going on outside Lambeau Field. Does not get more historic than Lambeau, and a guy that I'm about to bring on here, it's his first time. He's about to play meteorologist for me. He's about to play boots on the ground for me. And who knows? Maybe Santa Claus for me as well. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, what's up, man?
You're live. Kyle, how you doing, brother?
Doing amazing. Look at it out here. It's electric. Hold on. Let me flip this around.
Oh, yeah, baby. Talk to us about the weather on your way in.
It's unbelievable. It's about 25 degrees, a little bit of a wind chill. But honestly, I've been to colder games in Baltimore. But the wind chill here is a little brutal. The fans have been unbelievable. No wind, no rain. Battle of the backups. Fans have
Tailgate has been fun as shit.
Yeah, that's a Packers fan joining us in. Look at them all.
I see that. Dude, yeah, that place is rocking tonight.
It's unbelievable, man. I tell you what, I was in Bills Mafia week one. These fans have been just as great, top shelf, offering us free food, free brats, cheese curds have been unbelievable. Tailgates have been spectacular. Now we're getting ready to walk into the iconic Lambeau. Look at this place.
Frozen tundra. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. The crazy part, though, it could be so much worse out there temperature-wise, right?
Yeah, so I was on my flight on the way in. The guy next to me goes, "You got pretty lucky." He goes, 40 degrees in December. You're lucky. Next week, they're calling for -2 as the low and 6 is the high. So the fact that it's 35 here right now, I'll take it.
Yeah, you're getting spared on that for sure. I do want you to talk a little bit more about the win, though, because Tyler Loop has had his fair share of struggles this year, whether it be landing zone issues or we just saw it a week ago against New England where he came up short from 56. I don't think that had anything to do with the elements. I think it was more of just a technique thing. But talk to us about the win, my friend.
The flag, look at the flags moving over here. So flags are definitely moving. I'll tell you what, man, I wore my Lamar jersey.
Yeah.
Everyone has been like, all we want to do is see Lamar Jackson one time in our career. The fact he's not playing, a lot of upset Packer fans. They've stopped me and said he's electric. They love him. The fact he's not playing, they're hurt. They're upset. Battle the backups. It is what it is. They think Willis is a everyone I talked to said that Willis is going to get a contract by somebody. I'm a little shocked. But obviously he's a free agent after this year, so we'll see what happens there. But they love him. The fans here love him. This guy had an Aaron Rodgers jersey. They taped off the 1, and they put a number 2 and put Willis on the back of it instead. They believe in him, which is crazy. But they know no Parsons. They're fighting. They're struggling.
Are the boots on the ground believing in Tyler Huntley?
So some guy stopped me and said, he goes, I'd still take Willis over Huntley. Look, I'm on a podcast, big podcast.
Oh my God. Huntley is probably
Hanging around because I need a little cheese on my Ravens.
Oh, he's got a cheese shredder on his head.
we making
Look at that, Bobby.
we making cheddar, we making Parmesan, you want a little mozzarella? We got you. Just come around. Just come around, baby.
Got the
We
cheese
got
shredder
you.
out here.
Yeah.
Kyle, get a name for him.
I'll tell you what, Bobby.
for him.
You know me, I've traveled to a lot of games. I pretty much go to every game, boots on the ground for you. There's a lot of Ravens fans here, more than I thought there'd be, which I love to see. But I tell you what, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good.
Hey, these are the games that you bring in Derrick Henry for.
So many people said, is he playing tonight? I'm like, yeah, he's playing. They said, if they don't hand him the ball, listen, as Packers fans, they asked us, they said, why didn't he touch the ball in the fourth quarter last week? I said, no idea. No idea. It's above my pay grade. But look, see? Look.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Like
14 minutes.
Kyle,
No touches.
Get a
Insane.
name for him. What's your name? Get a name for him.
Get a name on the podcast.
Hey, my name is Josh Harvey. Y'all follow me on is that Josh on IG. All right.
It's subtle plug.
Ask Josh.
Shameless plug.
What's his strategy for a winning formula tonight?
What's the strategy for the winning formula tonight?
Run the ball. We got the big boy back there. Hey, we got the big boys up front. We got to run that ball. Derek got to hold that ball. No fumbles, and we good.
I mean, he's not wrong, man. It's Snoop at the helm. I think Snoop can get it done, but no Micah Parsons.
Come on, man. No.
Everyone I've talked to said they're nervous about the season because no Micah, but I mean, still a good defense. A top 5 defense either way. But
he just got hurt.
but yeah, another Packers fan I'm with. Look, another big.
Still one of the best defenses in the league.
With Michael, and we haven't seen him.
Look at this place, Bobby. Look at this.
Dude, the place is rocking. You're at an historic site in professional sports.
He did what he always does.
Short list of history. But ask Josh, at what point tonight does he start the grading process?
Say it again.
Ask Josh, at what point tonight does he start the cheese grading process?
What did he say?
You can't hear him? Here,
No,
say it again.
Say it again.
Josh, at what point tonight do you start the cheese grading process?
Oh, first quarter, baby.
First
I
quarter.
believe we will run the ball down their throats. First drive touchdown. And I will grade her cheese on the top of her head, and you'll see it on live TV. I bet you that.
There's cheese heads everywhere. He's got the grader.
I got the grader.
He's
baby.
ready to go. He's
Come
saying
on,
touchdown
man.
first drive for Baltimore. It's electric, man. I'm telling you. I'll tap back in obviously when I get in the game if you're still going. But this is we got Maryland hats in here.
Oh yeah, sizzle. Absolutely, brother.
It's electric, man. This stadium's unbelievable. Fans have been unbelievable. I can't wait to get in and see it. I mean, it's Lambeau Field. It's one of one bucket list.
Hey, enjoy yourself tonight. I appreciate the pregame coverage and enjoy it. All right.
All right, buddy. Hey, man, love you. Thanks for what you do.
See you, Kyle.
Let's go, Cowboys.
Hey, Cowboys. There's always one, man.
That's all
There's
right.
always one.
Next
See you,
year's
brother.
our year.
Oh, that's great. That's my buddy Kyle. He recently moved from Baltimore to St. Pete, actually, which has been cool. We're kind of doing the same thing. So you get a little feel for what's going on out there in Wisconsin, man. And come on, anybody that knows a thing or two about where Lambeau Field is located, this is all they got. This is what they do. This is what they are. And as usual, as Kyle's mentioning, they're hospitable, just like they were a couple summers ago when the Ravens went out and did a joint practice with them during training camp. I mean, they all ride their bikes. Players ride bikes on their way in to greet everybody in the community. And it's just a historic venue at a historic place. It's a historic franchise and all that more. I hope you got a little bit of something out of that call. Let's go back to the guest lines. But before we do, An update on the poll. Where are we? Over 200 votes and counting. Will Tyler Huntley keep the Ravens season alive? Run King Henry 20-plus times. Option A, 48%, and that is in the lead. 32% is I don't trust coaching. Trust in Snoop is 13%, and only 7% of you think that the defense wins this game. Over 220 votes and counting. Make sure your voice is heard. Appreciate you guys for being with me tonight. Hope you had a fantastic holiday, an awesome Christmas, time with loved ones and family, whatever it was that you guys were doing to celebrate. I appreciate your patience this week. You can probably hear that Bobby Squidward showed up. I am recovering from the flu, and it absolutely walloped me from basically the second that I flew home Monday night right up until now. So appreciate the patience, and I appreciate Preston Automotive Group for the continued support of the program. Bobby Baltimore subscribers get 2 exclusive offers at Preston, and these are at any Maryland area, Virginia area, Delaware area, Eastern Shore area dealership. There are a number of them to choose from, by the way, but just know that you can cash in $500 towards a new or pre-owned vehicle at any one of those dealerships if you let them know that you're a Bobby Baltimore subscriber. You can also buy 4 tires at Preston and receive 50% off your alignment. You've got plenty to choose from in their available inventory section, 3,996. My mom just bought a vehicle earlier today. So whether it's just being in the Christmas spirit, or maybe you're in the need, or perhaps you want to ring in the new year with a bang, great way to start that process is reaching out to the folks at Preston Automotive Group. PrestonMotor.com is where you can find this landing page that I have available for you. That's also in the show notes. And again, you can break down all of those 3,000 plus by category: price, vehicle condition, year, make, location. Like I said, here are all your locations all throughout Maryland, Delaware, and Virginia. And just know you do not need to be in the DMV in order to work with Preston. Is this Houston game over yet? It's Chargers and Texans. I think this game is coming down to the wire, if not over already, and it is final. So Houston beats the Chargers at home 20-16 in a game that Houston had to have. I believe the Texans just clinched a spot in the postseason there. So Houston beats the Chargers and Justin Herbert 20-16. We'll see how the Chargers fare should they make the postseason, when they make the postseason, because they are really, really banged up, particularly on that offensive line. Last time we heard from John Harbaugh, he addressed his job security earlier this week. I'm going to play this for you and then bring in Maurice and Will and the rest of the guest line as we get ready for kickoff tonight at Lambeau Field. We're over 20 minutes away from doing exactly that.
Possibility of playoffs. You need help now. I get that. When teams don't make the playoffs, there's a focus on potential staff turnover. Do you have any fear for your own job security here, or do you anticipate being here next year?
Yeah, thanks for asking that question, Bo. Well, first of all, yeah, no, that's good. It's a great question. I mean, it's a sport. It's just how it works, you know. And one thing I always have believed is that, first of all, coaching at any level is a day-to-day job, you know, and your job is to do the best job you can today, and to do everything you can to help your players and your coaches, if you're a head coach, be the best they can be every single day. And it's never been about keeping a job. And there's no such thing as like your job or my job. You know, we have responsibilities. We're given opportunities to steward those responsibilities, and you're given a job to do that until you're not, you know, and then you try to do the best. I try to do the job, not try to keep the job, because there's no such thing as having a job. It's just doing a job. And so my focus is on always, and has been for the last 18 years here and the last 41 years in coaching, or is it 42? It's up there. It's been to try to do the best job I can today and fight as hard as I can so the guys can have the best chance to be successful today. And anything after today, I'm not thinking about, because, you know, it's not given for us to think about. We don't have control over that except for the job we do today. And if we do a good enough job today, then the opportunity to do that job or a different job will be there tomorrow. And that's what you hope for.
What has the dialogue been like with you and Steve recently? I mean, the last 3 home games you guys have lost. It's kind of uncharacteristic. What is his message? What is his tone in those discussions?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of messages. Steve has been fantastic. You know, he's a great leader. He's supportive. He's also challenging. You know, Steve wants to win. You know, he wants to be successful. He's one of the. I've been around a lot of competitors, you know, in this job, or even in my family, you know, and there's no bigger competitor than Steve Bisciotti, and that's one of the many things I admire about him and appreciate of him. So he's been great. He's been challenging in every great kind of way, and I appreciate that. And he helps me to be better, and that's what I'm grateful for.
In those discussions, have there been talks about the future? Has there been any kind of assurances or anything like that?
Now, the future is today. The future is the Green Bay Packers. I mean, that's what we're looking at.
And that's what's coming up tonight. That was how John Harbaugh not only handled his job security and the topic of it, but being peppered by questions related to his job security. That was on Monday after the New England loss. What I got to ask you now as I open the guest lines back up, which Ravens will show up? This is the loudest it's been in the Harbaugh era, maybe dating back to 2018, ironically, when Lamar was drafted. Captain Hard writes, wrote the same thing during the first contract. Only went on to win an AFC championship game, 2-time All-Pro, 1 MVP in a historic season last year. I just think it's weird that he wrote hit pieces about Ray and Ed as well. Captain remarking on Mike Preston's piece that dropped earlier this week, criticizing Lamar in a number of ways. Thanks for the super chat, Captain. Weighed in on that earlier. But I want to know from you guys, which John Harbaugh-led Ravens will show up tonight with their backs against the wall? Houston just clinched a postseason berth. They've won 8 straight games, and they take down the Chargers tonight 20-16. That means with a Chargers loss, that for the first time since 2015, the Denver Broncos are AFC West champions. What a year. The postseason could very well not include. It definitely doesn't include Mahomes. It definitely doesn't include Burrow. When it's all said and done, maybe no Lamar as well. An insane year. It is wide open, which again, I'm sure leaves some of you feeling like you're up at night knowing what could have been or thinking about what could have been. Bottom line is, what could have been or what it's not written in ink yet. They're not mathematically eliminated yet, and there is still a chance. There is still a chance. Maurice, welcome to the program, brother. Merry Christmas to you. Your thoughts on which Ravens are showing up tonight after everything that's transpired in recent days?
That is a good question. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm so sick of John Harbaugh. I'm over here trying to manage my headache. I swear every time Harbaugh opens his mouth, just gives me nothing but headaches. But there's one player that stands out, I believe, will show up tonight. That obviously being Derrick Henry. And there's a number of reasons. It's like he's been, the centerpiece of our offense besides Lamar and also besides the fumbling issues. Now, again, it's like our biggest strength has always been running the football. It's like you see what happens when, opposing defenses gas themselves out trying to tackle a 6'3", 247-pound back. It's like that's literally our biggest strength on the entire offense. It's like, where do I begin? It's like we cannot make the same mistake we made last week. Taking the ball out of Derrick's hands in the fourth quarter, it's like 12 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter, and you haven't gave him the ball. It's like we just can't have that. It's like there's already been a number of occasions where shifting away from the game plan has come back to bite you. Now it's been smoke and mirrors with Harbaugh and his play calling for 18 seasons, and I feel like I got to throw this out there. But remember during Brian Billick's tenure here, Brian Billick got fired for half the shit Harbaugh has done. Billick was here for 8 seasons. Harbaugh's been here for 18 seasons. It feels like he has yet to learn from the same repeated mistakes he has made. It's like the game plan is simple. Just give the damn ball to your best weapon on the offensive side of the ball. It is legitimately that simple. It's like now our backs is against the wall now, and we're facing elimination, on the brink of elimination, if we don't win our next 2 games. It is that plain and simple. That's all
brother.
I got for y'all.
Enjoy it tonight. We'll catch up tomorrow, I'm sure. Thanks, Maurice. Will, welcome to the program, brother. Happy holidays to you and your family. Which Ravens are showing up tonight at Lambeau?
I'm hoping for Andrews and Likely. Get some really serious, action out of them in the passing game. Like I said, like everybody's been mentioning before, we got to give them a heavy, heavy dose of, King Henry. That should open up some lanes for our tight ends to go down the seams, be able to get some passing going. I don't want to put too much on Huntley. I mean, he is a good quarterback, but at the same time, he's our backup. So you want to be able to limit him having to put the game in his hands. So making King Henry the focal point, give Keaton some runs as well. And hopefully our defense can lock down their backup, because I trust if we can keep a run and a steady play action going, that will be a lot more steady than what they might be able to put out on their side of the ball. So hopefully that works out. Harbaugh didn't sound too confident about his tenure going forward. If they don't make the playoffs, that might say something right there as well. So hopefully he can fix the ship, right the ship, and get us back on course if we can manage to get into the playoffs.
Thanks for the call, brother. Enjoy the game tonight. Appreciate you. 20 minutes out from kickoff at Lambeau Field. Ravens are 7-8 on the brink of elimination if they don't win tonight. And then obviously to make Week 18 meaningful in Pittsburgh against the Steelers, you need Cleveland to upset those Pittsburgh Steelers in Cleveland coming up tomorrow. And that game will be, who is playing versus who's not playing. Insane. No TJ Watt, no David Njoku. God, no DK Metcalf for the next 2 games because of the suspension. Both teams are banged up. And what team is it right now? Obviously. But Judah's here. I know he's ready to roll. It's good to see you, brother. I know you're ready to go tonight.
What's going on? Can you hear me, man?
I can. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Which Baltimore Ravens are showing up tonight? Which team is showing up tonight after really a week not only of Lamar Jackson controversy, but given the underperformance, both really top down against New England in primetime fashion. I'm talking about coaches all the way down, to the players.
Well, I think that we're going to see a good Ravens team. I predict a win. I'm hoping to see something similar to the Bears, the type of game we had against the Bears when Snoop led us to a victory. I'm confident we can do that. But as far as like Lamar goes, when Snoop wins this game, we do need Lamar to close the season out. I feel like he should play. If he can go, he should go. But John Harbaugh, I want to point something out. John Harbaugh, when he give his explanations, he's like the spouse that you caught cheating, and they immediately say that forgiveness is the language of love. They immediately starts to absolve themselves of any accountability. They tell you that, love conquers all. I know I did something bad, but forgiveness is the language of love. That's John Harbaugh. And on top of that, I do think that Lamar is going to leave us next year. I want to talk about that before I run out of time. I do believe that from what I'm hearing, for the first time ever, I'm fearful that he won't be our quarterback next season, when his contract is up.
Now, is that because of the local reporting from this week, or where are you getting that?
I just think he's ticked off, bro. I'm watching his body language, the way he reacts to negative plays. He's no longer that leader that, when something goes wrong, he's trying to rile the guys up like, we can still do this. He's more like, I'd be better off without you guys. There's probably a better team for me somewhere else.
You think he'd be better off? You think he'd be better off in Vegas or Miami than Baltimore?
Probably Miami. I don't know about Vegas, man. That's kind of a shit show. But maybe Miami. You know what I mean? I think they can surround him with speed. You know what I mean? He can lead a deadly offense if they surround him with their speed.
Here's what I'm saying though. I don't deny any of that. The problem is that if you're Eric DeCosta in this front office, not only did you can't screw up again. You screwed up during his rookie window. You did not build adequately around him. Can we all agree? It's particularly at the wide receiver position. They missed the mark during Lamar's rookie window, which Houston hit on during CJ Stroud. That's why they've had so much success. Now, most of it's been regular season success. They haven't done a ton in the postseason. Same thing with Lamar and the Ravens. This cap hit is going to skyrocket to $75 million and likely put DaCosta and his front office in a very similar to position that they were in 3 years ago in 2022. A very unique negotiation where it's player to represent, meaning it's player to front office, meaning player to DaCosta, rather than, as you know, players in the middle of the liaison, meaning the agent, and the front office, meaning Eric DaCosta. It is extremely unique. It is extreme. It is the finest of lines that you have to walk if you're Eric. And I cannot imagine that he's thrilled that's coming up again. But the alternative to think that, as Mike Preston suggested here, to go and rebuild and draft a young quarterback and think that it's plug and play. We've seen what life is like in Baltimore without Lamar. And I'm just going to go ahead and put myself out on a limb here and say that they are a top 10 drafting team without Lamar Jackson. They might be top five drafting team in April without Lamar. And so I hear you on some of the body language stuff and the fact that this has gotten ugly in terms of what's totally snowballed because of one local report that's taken on a life of its own through national media outlets that I think feel as if this story is a lot more here and now than what I feel it is, which is just I'm not going to go as far as to say it's a hit piece, but it's clearly something that was released because they're losing, because Lamar is hurt, and ultimately this season is hours away from being lost. And so I think that it's just taken on a life of its own and completely snowballed to the point where we've now reached a reactive and overreactive state is my thought.
I got you, man. Well, man, you going to do the after show tonight? Or what?
You are, dude, I'm down and out with the flu, as you can probably hear. So
I got you.
Sarah and I will be live at midnight. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about mine. I'll wait for me tomorrow, and then Sarah and I will go vault tonight. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
All right, man. All right.
Later. Guys, you want to call in and share a thought before kickoff, you can do so. Rave, if you're with me, brother, open up that camera. I think we all know, we all heard Rodney and Tony's thoughts from last weekend. Just in case you did, go ahead.
It was absolutely ridiculous what they did, Coach, in terms of trying to run the football. How do you not have Derrick Henry on the football field the second half? That's the one guy the Patriots did not want to tackle. None of them guys, the linebackers, the safeties, the secondary, they wanted no part of Derrick Henry.
And I totally understand you go in with a plan. We're going to alternate our backs, and we're going to play Henry a series, then we're going to play Mitchell a series. But if Steph Curry just hit 6 3-pointers in a row, you don't take him out and say, oh, this is your time to rest now. No, Derrick Henry was on fire. They couldn't stop him. You've got to lead. You got to protect the lead. He did not touch that. Not only didn't touch the ball, didn't touch the field for the last 12 minutes of the game.
I'm going to just say this. I absolutely at times hate the Ravens' offensive strategy. And if I'm Coach Harbaugh and I got Derrick Henry, what are you saving him for? You saving him for next year? You might as well run him now. That's the reason why you redid his contract. You paid him a lot of money for moments like this. There's no way those other guys. Coach, we were sitting there talking about it.
Yes.
They were getting 7-8 yards. Easy. It was easy. And he took Derrick Henry out, and it cost him the game. And it was Todd Monken. And that's the problem with the Ravens offensively.
And then they picked up the first down, so they had another opportunity to put him in the game at that point when they were up 3 at that point in time, Coach. If you're the head coach, offensive coordinator, I understand. If you're the head coach, Coach Harbaugh, what are you saying with Henry standing next to you?
I'm looking over there, and he's standing next to me, and I'm saying, why are you over here? Are you hurt? And he says, I'm okay.
Go back in the game.
You're in the game.
You're
You
in the
have to
game.
be. And this, with our season on the line, and the way he was running tonight, and the way they had problems stopping him, at least I'm gonna. Even if I want to throw the ball, I'm gonna put him in there and fake the ball to him, so the whole team is going to jump on him. It just did not make any sense to me.
You saw when he was in the game, Zay Flowers was taken off because everybody was stacked up
One-on-one coverage, everybody's at line of scrimmage. It just did not make sense to me.
You know, there's going to be plenty of guys, plenty of Green Bay Packers tonight at some point in the game where 22 is coming downhill with a whole lot to do. And are they going to be making business decisions? I'm not saying they're out there, not playing with pride. I'm just saying sometimes it is a war of attrition. And you want to know who comes out on the right side of that roar every damn time for the most part, unless he fumbles the damn ball, which we've seen too many times to the tune of 4 fumbles including one against New England last weekend. It's Derrick Henry. It's Derrick Henry. Run him into oblivion until the game strategy dictates otherwise. And speaking of game, we are 5-10 minutes out from kickoff. Kyle is back with us for a Lambeau segment. So show us the field, baby. Not bad tickets for you.
Let's go, baby. Look at these seats. We're out here.
Yeah, go back home.
Hell yeah. Look at that, man. Are you on the Raven side?
Raven side, visitor side, 20 rows up.
Nice. Early impressions of Lambeau?
Hold on, ready? Hold on. Oh, wait.
Yeah, let's see this. Turn that sucker around. Look at this. Dude. Come on, man. That's paradise. Paradise for football fans, especially on a night where it's 30-plus degrees. Hell yeah.
We're out here, baby.
Everybody liquored up around you?
Say it again?
Everybody heavily liquored up around you?
Everyone's heavily. Look at these seats, too.
Oh, dude, that is legendary.
Just classic metal bleachers like we're in high school football, man.
I love it, man. I love it. Hey, enjoy yourself tonight. Thank you for the inside look.
You're welcome, buddy. Love you, buddy.
Enjoy it. Yep. Love you, man. Talk to you. Rave, talk to me, man. Man, that is history right there. You ever been to Lambeau, brother? You're muted, big dog. Where are you at?
Oh, my bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I don't care. So, listen, I find this so funny, man. And some of the fans, y'all can kind of understand where I'm coming from. I find it wild that me and you, and especially you called the Ravens cooked, and the Ravens was in this favorite schedule, and everybody they just started to see the optimism, and they started like, yo, Zach Orr's playing better. And I was like, bro, no, he's playing zone defense with man corners. All the corners we have on our Ravens are man corners, and we're playing zone. His defense is not good. We just been getting away with it. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, come on, they're playing better. Now we're doing this huge debacle, and everybody's like, okay, well, we're back to this. Fire Zach Orr. And I've been saying fire Zach Orr all season long. I've been saying fire John Harbaugh all along, bro. This is so good for me to talk to you about this because it's just like, as I'm watching Twitter and it's just like, it's so bomb. It's like every time we're in this huge moment of losing and looking bad, it's fire Harbaugh. But if we start winning a little bit, fans just start, oh yeah, let's go Baltimore.
I hear you. Meaning you're not going to be moved by a win tonight. You're not going to be moved by a potential postseason berth. You're not going to be moved by certain little flashes as we saw with that 5-game win streak against a favorable opponent, right? Middle of the season. I get that. And that's part of the reason why I really had to, stay level-headed throughout that win streak and why I couldn't walk myself back and say, now they aren't cooked. Because I have believed for a while that they were because of the 1-5 start, knowing that favorable stretch would be something that could easily weather. I knew they were going to be able to weather that storm because it was a rainstorm. It wasn't a hailstorm. The last 5-6 weeks of the season has been a legitimate storm, and you see where they have to show for it. They haven't shown up.
Yeah, and I mean, can we win? Yeah. Jordan Love's not playing, right?
No
officially,
Jordan
right?
Love.
He's out. He's officially out, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So because of that, we have a chance. Backup quarterback. We'll see how that goes. We have a chance with Huntley. I like Huntley, man. He's doing better. I like how much he's improved. I do like how I do like his awareness has got better. So we'll see how it goes. We have a chance. It's so crazy, Bobby, because it's like if we win and it gives us, and let's say the Steelers lose, we can have a chance at the crack out of playoffs. And it's like I want to go to the playoffs because I want to see Lamar take a shot at it. But it's like, but if we go to the playoffs, I need John Harbaugh fired, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we make the playoffs, it can
kind of save John a little bit. And that's why I'm a little afraid. It's like I want to go to playoffs, but it's like I kind of don't because it might save his job. And it's like
But if you go to the postseason, though, if you go to the postseason, you're buying Lamar time. You're buying Lamar time.
You're right.
Now, look, it could be a wash at this point. There's so much wear and tear on his body.
Yeah.
Multiple lower body injuries, the back, the toe, you name it. I mean, it might not matter.
That's true.
But if I'm a betting man, I like to be more on that side of buying Lamar Jackson time than I would just totally washing the season and calling it a day. So, hey, this is not an 8:20 start, too. This is an 8 o'clock start. So I'm going to jump, brother.
Sure.
Enjoy the game. We'll catch up soon. All right.
Time to watch the game. That's true.
All right,
Appreciate
man.
you.
Later, brother. Yeah, and Jewel, too. Sorry about that. I saw you down in the waiting room, but I forgot. This is an 8 o'clock game, and it's on Peacock. So I got to figure out how the hell I'm watching this game tonight. So anyway, join the Discord server. I just updated the pinned comment in my live chat to reflect that community. There's over 1,000 members and counting. It's free, and we're going to be talking football literally all night long, 24/7. People already are as we get ready for kickoff right now. T Plus looks like he's in Lambeau in Green Bay. So go check it out. Would love for you to join. And appreciate you guys as always. If you could like the video on your way out, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, consider becoming a channel member or gift giving this membership this holiday season. I'd appreciate it. Sarah and I will be back later on once the post-game press conferences wrap up, and we'll talk to you then. Appreciate you guys and appreciate Preston Automotive Group for the continued support of this program.